Hey guys, welcome to another Anime Kingdom discussion review. Sorry about the light. Still wasn't able to get one today. Will be getting one, so next week should be better. So this is of course on Akame Got Kill episode 5. And the episode starts off with, Tatsumi's having a dream with it's Sayo and Iyasu leaving him. He's pretty much they're leaving him, saying that he's made new friends and he can't rely on them forever, and if there is a next life then they'll see him there. And he wakes up and he's like like it's pretty much obviously a nightmare, and or just a horrible dream. And that's when he noticed Sheila is right there sleeping next, on the chair, sleeping on his bed. And he's like, huh, the heck. And when she gets up, her glasses fall off, and then she goes to the table with the vase on it and says, "Good morning." And I'm just like, "What the hell?" And she looks up and is like, "Huh? Where are my glasses?" She's a complete klutz, I swear. After that, we get a Lebok is asking, like, is it really a good idea to have Sheila in charge? To which the boss says, Tatsumi she'll get along with Tatsumi because Tatsumi will take to an older trainer more. And that's when Leonie comes in saying she called dibs on training him next. And Lubok's like, "Oh, this is unfair." And then the boss says, the more experienced the assassin, the better the kill. To which Leonie and Lubok are like, what the fuck? And this, this whole scene is just Lubok pretty much getting like, poor guy. Because after that, Akame comes in, telling him what she's gonna make, to eat, and it's pretty much just like a whole bunch of meat, meat, meat. And Lebak is like, there isn't, need for that much meat. There already so much meat, and but everyone else is just agreeing, and he's just like, oh, the Night Raid women are carnivorous. After that, we see Sheila is having Tatsumi. He's like swimming through water with armor on, and it's part of his training. And Sheila is pretty much says that she has no specific job back at the base, so she can pretty much concentrate on training him. And that's when he asks, why? Oh, because she doesn't have a specific job, and it's pretty much because when she cooked with Akame, she burned the meat, and Akame got mad. It was even a little cute thing. Her knife goes up, ching, the meat or something like that. It was just like, what the heck. After that, while she was cleaning with Bolato, she made even more of a mess. She like, I don't know, I guess she was mopping and water everywhere. She slipped and stuff, and and the more funny one was when she went shopping. She mistook salt for sugar, and she bought a whole lot, and I mean a whole lot. There was just like so much, and Leonie just was on the ground cracking up laughing at her. And obviously you could see she's just completely an airhead, And then Tatsumi, asks, why is she in this line of work? Because I would ask that too, like, she doesn't seem like she's assassin material, she's completely clueless, klutz, and yeah. So Sheila then begins to tell him, and we get a flashback. And it turns out she grew up in the capital's downtown district and was pretty much always a klutz, like even when she was younger. And people always said things like there must be a screw loose in her head somewhere, and I would honestly think the same thing. And until finally she found someone that was kind to her and didn't make fun of her. And she pretty much always hanged out with her, and one day night she was with her friend at her house, and this man comes to the door, and it turns out it's her friend's ex. And I guess he was mad at, since she left him, and he was high on drugs, and he was strangling her. To which Sheila says, I have to save her. And she grabs a knife and just cuts his throat, killing him. And she said she was surprisingly calm, and even though her friend was shaking from what happened, her mind was completely clear. She was fine. And after that, it was ruled as self-defense, but she never saw her friend again. And I think, dang, that's pretty sad. She never, like, I know it's messed up that happened, but she saved her. She was gonna die if she didn't do anything, and the friend just leaves. I don't know. After that, the friends of the guy came to avenge his death, and they all had weapons and they were gonna kill her. But she was completely calm, and she took out a knife that she had for protection. It looks like the same knife she used to kill the guy, and she just, oh, it was pretty badass. She's like killing them all, dodging, flipping, just cutting them up, and it was just crazy. And that's when she figured out that the screw, the screw loose in her head is what makes her a talented killer. She then, I guess, she became a freelance assassin, and that's when the Revolutionary Army recruited her. Obviously, when she joined Night Raid. Tatsumi then, he doubts himself. Like everyone has tough times before everything that happened to them, and that's why they're there. And he pretty much doubts that he could do this. And Shile says, "Don't worry," which puts him at ease. And then she just completely ruins it and says, "Unlike me, you're good at cooking." And he's like, "That's what you meant?" Well, he never said it, but that's what he thought. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Pilato comes out shirtless, out of the water, like, "Good job, Tatsumi," and his muscles like, and it was just like, oh man, what the heck? Like, did they need to put that part in? After that, everyone is gathered again. The boss gives Tatsumi, Imperial arm that they got from Zhang from before, the eye thing, and he could try it out, and because one Imperial arm per person, because it takes a lot of mental strength and stamina for them to use one, so you're not gonna be able to use two. So he puts it on, and Akame asks, him to read her mind. To which he says that what she's thinking is she wants to eat meat tonight, and she says it's perfect. And Leone's like, it didn't even activate because it didn't. I didn't open or anything. That's obviously what Akame thinks all the time, meat. And after that, Mind says she doesn't want her mind read. So try another of the abilities because there was 5 before. So he decides to use the one ability because we saw 4 of them. So there's one more. And so he tries the ability out. And of course, we get fan service. And it turns out he sees Akame, Mind, and Shile in their underwear. It's just like, really? Until finally, of course, like, he is like, woof, a wave of exhaustion just, goes onto him. And it's because the Imperial Arm rejected him because there's a compatibility thing. Not everyone can just use any Imperial Arm. It has to be compatible with you. So they're going to send that instead to the Revolutionary Army. And they talk about how even though they are assassins, one of their submissions are to collect Imperial arms because it will make the Revolutionary Army stronger. And that's when the boss gives Tatsumi a book with like a bunch of info on all the Imperial arms, I guess, that they have. And Tatsumi asks, which is the strongest? To which the boss says the one that controls ice. And that's pretty much like where they come up with the war with the northern race. They talk about that, like the northern race has this prince hero that's like a strategic. He's never lost ever with his spear in his hand, and they're fortified in their most fortified city, and that's where she is. She's gonna conquer the northern race pretty much. After that, Tatsumi is all happy because there's a chance, since there's so many Imperial arms and they don't know what all of them could do, that there's possible to find one to bring back dead because he wants to bring back Sayo and Iyasu. To which everyone gets serious and said, there isn't. Tatsumi gets all mad and defensive, saying, why not? And which everyone answers. They answer that the old emperor made the Imperial arms to keep his kingdom safe, to protect the kingdom. So, when he dies. So, if there was one that could bring back the dead, he would still be alive because they would use it to bring him back. After that, Tatsumi is at Sayo and Iyasu's graves, and he's sad because, he thought maybe there was a chance he could see them again, but it really is, he thought he got over it, but he really didn't. And we get a little cute scene with Shile comforting him, and that's pretty much that scene. After that, we get a scene where they're in where the northern race is, and it turns out they lost. That fortified town, there's people everywhere frozen, so it's the person that can control ice with the Imperial arm. And then we see the hero prince licking the woman that has the Imperial arms control ice, her feet, and he's just got a chain around him naked, and he's just a slave, at which she just kills him right there, and just like, dang, this guy's supposed to be a strategic, he's supposed to be a hero. No one could defeat him, and all of a sudden she comes, and like even before, what's it called? Levok said that it would take like a year to conquer the northern race, and they just did it right there and then that fast. Pretty crazy. After that, we see Leone and Tatsumi walking down like the slums, and everyone's all lively, and he's like, "Wow, it's pretty good here. Everyone's happy," and everyone seems to know Leone, and he's like, "Dang, you're famous, huh?" And it turns out that's where she was, born and raised. All of a sudden, these group of guys come, "Hey, you gotta pay your tab," and all this kind of stuff, and she's like, "Oh no," and they run away, and oh, Leone. Of course, that would happen to her. After that, we are where the emperor and the high-ranking officials are. They talk about how two generals have left to join the revolutionary army, and how the revolutionary army is starting to go really strong. And of course, the emperor is like, he's a kid, of course, and he's like, "No, they're just in the south. We can take them out whenever we want. The more gathered they are, the faster we can take them out, right, minister?" And the minister's, he seems to get all mad too, that they're doing all this kind of stuff, and then he says that it's time to call General S. Death down, and that's the person that controls ice. And everyone's like, what? And he's, I'm guessing, obviously she's really strong, and he says that she's gonna, take them all out. So we'll get to see her fight, Night Raid maybe pretty soon. After that, we see Tatsumi. He got lost and separated from Leone, and he doesn't know the area until a girl who is an Imperial officer comes, and she's got an Imperial arm that is this like weird dog thingy. I have no idea. And pretty much helps him out, and it turns out that she wants revenge on Night Raid because Ogre was her master. It was helping her because she wants to, take out evil, and she thinks of Night Raid as evil. And it's funny, she wants to kill the guy who killed Ogre, and the person who did was the person she just held. So pretty ironic right there. So we're obviously gonna see more of her, and probably gonna have her end up either fighting Tatsumi later. And that's pretty much the end of the episode. To be honest, I give this episode a 6 out of 10. I didn't care for this episode too much. They gave a little backstory, talked about Chile, and what's going to happen. It's really this episode's really just to lead up to the next episode. So hopefully that episode will be better. But yep, discussion, guys. Comment what you thought below. If you have a question, comment below too. And yeah, I'm excited for the next episode. Hopefully it will be, more action. I'm thinking it'll be more action. We'll finally get to see them fight someone. Because this one wasn't really actiony. We got some backstory and stuff, but that's about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this discussion review. Till next time, guys. See ya.